Hey, so I got a comment on my last video. The comment, I'm just going to pull it over to my other screen here. The comment was, and thank you for the comment, by the way, Happy Feet. I like you. It's one that really made me think. And the comment from Happy Feet is, in your opinion, what is the earliest signs of ineffective leadership, and how do you address this when the leader is above your rank? This one made me think. It's something I've experienced, because those people that become leaders, some of them aren't ready. Some of them they get promoted a little too soon. But everyone can become a leader. It's just, how do you identify, like you said, what is the early signs of ineffective leadership? Usually ineffective leadership comes in new and young leaders. Not too often you see it in older leaders, but when you do, it's a little more prevalent. So communication problems is kind of like the number one thing I can think of. When people don't know how to communicate to each other, they use things like unprofessional language. They don't really listen well. Like when you try to give them feedback and stuff like that, they're not really listening. And communication related signs that point to poor leaderships, right? So when someone is making a suggestion and they're like, yeah, okay, right? That's someone that's not really going to take on your suggestion and be a good leader. Because being a good leader is also being a good follower, and being a good follower is being a good listener, right? The inability to make a decision would be another way. So literally not being able to nail down what they want to do, right? They want to be able to take everyone's opinion, but not really know how to kind of flow with it. Now, an early sign of that is when you see someone working on the floor and they're kind of like, what should I do? Like, I know I do that from time to time too, still, but it's someone that really can't pick one in it at all, really. Their performance is another big thing. So if they're already, come to work and mailing it in, well, that's not really someone I'm going to be looking at to put in a leadership role, right? If you're doing the bare minimum in the run of a day, well, how are you going to lead people? So another thing to think about, I made some notes. Quick to blame instead of taking responsibility. That is a bad trait. Huge bad trait, right? You may have heard that from other people that do leadership stuff, but if you can't take responsibility for yourself and your team, right, then why are you even leading? If you are the one in charge of the team, anything that team does is your responsibility. It's your decision. A good team will make a good leader any day. If someone is constantly blaming other people for the mistakes around them, instead of looking at how they can effectively make that change, well, there's a really good warning sign that you have an ineffective leader, right? One thing I've always tried to tell people is it's not the team that makes the mistake. It's not the person that makes a mistake, it's the team. And me as a leader, when my team failed at something, well, first thing I always did was go, how could I have made that better? I failed because my team did something wrong. Well, what could I have done as a leader to help my team get to where it needs to go? I don't blame other people. I never blamed anyone else. I probably did when I was younger in my career. Don't get me wrong. I was told I was a little harsh when I first got into my leadership stuff. But it didn't take long for me I don't think it took long for me to learn how to take responsibility. another note I got here. Doing the work themselves rather than through their teams. So a very good sign of an ineffective leader is someone that always goes, get out of the way, I can do this. I'll do it myself. God, why can't you do it right? I'll just do it myself, right? A true leader is a good mentor. And a good mentor is someone that will take their team and show them what they've done. Show them the right way. If it's not the right way, it's at least a right way. Because no one's a right 100% of the time. No one. Last person that was truly perfect, they nailed them to a cross, right? At least that's what I used to tell people. So you need to be able to mentor and educate your team to work as a team. And when they don't, that's your fault as a leader. Because you're the leader. You're the one that's supposed to be mentoring and guiding them to success. Okay? I went a little further and I went into impacts of poor leadership. The culture. Oh my God. Poor leadership can kill a culture. So you probably noticed behind me, I got a few artillery things on the wall. My office is kind of full of artillery things because I was in the artillery. Poor leadership can kill a culture. In the artillery world, we have what's called gun detachments. A bad leader can just really destroy a detachment. It really can not. It will bring the morale down so bad, which will affect the work, which will affect the attitude, which will affect their mental state. And when you're on a 14-day exercise, and day 2, you're already trying to kill each other, not physically, but, metaphorically, it's the leader that has to change things. Okay, so that's one of the things that really could happen. Another thing, and I've already talked about low morale. In the company sense, poor customer satisfaction is another thing that poor leadership can do, because when poor leadership affects the team in a company, customer satisfaction, that's the word I'm looking for, satisfaction, the team won't relate with that customer, right? So in a company, the team needs to relate with the customer in order to do the sales or get the product out there and whatnot. Now, the last part of the question was, and how do you address this when the leader is above you in rank? Well, that is a hard one, because one, you have to respect the rank. Even if you don't like the person, you still have to respect the rank. But what I always did, as a leader, is I always was very personable with my people, and I always felt like they could always come talk to me. And I've had people tell me that they could always come talk to me. But sometimes you can't go and talk to that leader. I've had a few people above me that I couldn't always talk to, but I always made the effort. You got to make an effort. You got to make an effort to address the issue with your leader. And it's going to give you anxiety. It's going to give you a mental stress. But you really need to have that one-on-one. Okay? When I was a junior leader, I had an issue with one of my sergeants. He wasn't performing. And it wasn't me. Well, I didn't notice, but I had the troops below me to take care of. But I had the sergeant major come to me and tell me I needed to help mentor my sergeant. And I'm like, I'm a master volunteer. How can I mentor my sergeant? And what he explained to me was, by helping him control the detachment by supporting him in what he needs to do, talking with him about procedures. And a lot of times when I did that, I had to pretend like I didn't know what I was doing so that I could get answers out of him. And a few times there was a few conversations we had where he would give me an answer and I act kind of confused and I'm like, I don't understand. Do you mean if you do this, this, and this, we could do this? And I could see, which I gave him the right answer, and I could kind of see sometimes the light bulb go on, go, oh yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. It's almost like he forgot his drills a little bit, but in a lot of ways, when you support your leader and help them achieve the goals, right? You can actually make them a better leader. And like I said, a good follower, a good listener is just as important as being a good leader. A good leader is a good follower. A good leader is a good listener. But a good follower and a good listener can help benefit a good leader. It kind of works in a circle, right? So, Happy Feet, I hope that answers your question. Again, these are my opinions. I did do a little bit of research. I wrote some stuff down. I typed it up on the computer here in front of me. That's why you see me looking around a little bit. So I love the question, and I hope that's a good answer for you. For everyone else who never seen the previous video, drop a question, a leadership question in the box below. Let me know. As I said, I've been advised that I could answer a few leadership questions from people around me, that I had something to give back, and this is kind of the forum I chose to give back to. So I love the questions. I love giving advice. Any more leadership questions out there, feel free, type it below. I'll give you a shout out and we will talk about it. Again, my opinion. All right. Have a good day, everyone.